So there are a lot of different oils. They each have different purposes, different price points. But one of the best oils, I think, is canola oil. This stuff, I mean, $6 for all that oil. It's gonna last you a while. It's great for frying. It doesn't have much flavor at all, so it's good for any of that kind of stuff. Anything you cook, like if you're cooking with olive oil, it's gonna change the flavor, which is good if it's good olive oil, but if you can't afford it, it can really make it taste like shit. So I always go with the canola oil. People like vegetable oil. It's, you know, I don't know why, but
great beginner oil, canola oil, because you can't really go wrong.
you can't. Yeah. So we're gonna keep walking. The other essential to have aside from oil is vinegar. There are a couple vinegars that are really good. Balsamic vinegar is really good. Adds nice flavor to salads and that kind of stuff. White vinegar is always good to just have. You can pickle with it. You can add it to anything to give it a little pts. Apple cider vinegar is another one. It's sweet, glorious. Red wine vinegar. There's a lot to choose from. So rice vinegar, this is what they use to make sushi rice. It's in a lot of Asian cooking, but it's really good. It's a little bit sweet and it doesn't have too strong of a flavor. But vinegar, like in most cooking, is awesome because it just adds that like tss. Anytime you're making like sauces, especially any kind of food that you just want to have a little extra bite and don't want to just make it saltier, vinegar, citrus, those are the ways to go. Although you always see your salad dressings. I always skip them. You know, mayo. Do we need mayo?
No, we do not need mayo.
Okay. Mayo is good to have. It's good just for a lot of different things, but we also like to make our own mayo. I'll show you that in another video. Now there are a couple more things that are really essential. Ketchup is a great base. I actually don't love ketchup for like your standard stuff, but it's a great base for barbecue sauces. It's good to put on eggs. But you may have seen us use this many times. Sriracha. It's spicy, it's a little bit sweet, and it is incredible on anything. This stuff's really good. It's also its little brother, sambal olak, which is also a chili garlic paste. This is a little bit sweeter. It's got hell of a kick, but these two go really well on a lot of different things. Do we need sriracha?
Yeah, definitely. Always need sriracha.
It's kind of becoming like the new ketchup because it's ketchup, but it's spicy. And as people get more into like ethnic foods and spice, it seems like everybody wants a taste of sriracha. Now you've got your standard breads, all kinds of different stuff. I'm not a big standard bread fan. What I like to do, come over here, check this shit out. These are flatbreads, and honestly, this is the first stuff that I was ever cooking on. When this stuff's just as is, it tastes okay. You can use it, you know, for dips and stuff, but when you heat this stuff up and fry it, you can do crazy shit. So, now we got this multi-grain guy. Alright, now this is another essential aisle, spices. Got lots of different dried herbs and different types of spices. And there are some essentials that are good to have, like paprika and chili powder and cayenne. But kind of like with Mike and the produce, I like to just grab ones I haven't seen before. At this point, I've had most of the spices, but it's always fun, you know, try coriander or try, you know, cinnamon's obviously really good. But there's so many different options, and they will add a lot of flavor to food without doing much. Usually cheap. Like cayenne, this thing's like $3, and this will last you months and months and months.
What about, I see there's honey right there. How do you feel about honey?
Honey is a glorious sweetener. This stuff is great. Salads, if you mix this, honestly, honey plus mustard plus just any kind of vinegar, you'll have the best salad dressing you've ever tasted. Now you're entering the baking aisle. You've got all your flours, you've got all your pre-made cake mixes. Some are better than others. But you know, I will tell you, a lot of times pre-made cake mixes, they're just kind of a scam because all it really is flour, sugar, and baking soda. So you can just buy that stuff instead. It's a lot cheaper. So we've got all these different types of flour here. And you know, I will say we're in a bit more of like a so-called hipster market, so maybe there's weirder shit than you're not used to seeing, but it's all the same stuff. Unbleached, there's all-purpose, there's unbleached all-purpose, there's self-rising. There's a lot of different types of flour. This flour, when it comes to just day in and day out, the all-purpose flour is great. You can make dough with it, you can make bread, you can make cakes, you can make pancakes. This works pretty much with anything. Once you start getting into more specifics and different types of dough, then you start buying other stuff. But this is a good way to go. There's also self-rising flour, which is pretty cool because you don't have to add rising elements to it. It just rises on its own. Two other things I wanted to mention. Cornmeal. This stuff, you'd be surprised how good it is. It's great breading. It makes like super crispy chicken. And it also makes polenta, all that kind of stuff. It's good to just have. This stuff will stay for a while and you can make a lot of different things with it. And when it comes to pantry cooking, you might go out and you might spend 50 bucks or even 100 bucks buying all the essentials, but once you have them, you can go to the market and every week just get like some fresh produce and you'll be able to make a million different meals without having to constantly buy all this different stuff. That's why we're trying to show you that there's certain essentials like cornstarch. This lasts, like one jar of this will last a year for you in your house. I mean, I can't say what the expiration date is. Let's see. I mean, the expiration date on this is February 11th, 2016. It's gonna last you a long time, and a lot of pantry essentials will. Vinegars last forever. So honey is a great replacement for sugar, but it's good to have sugar and either light or dark brown sugar and confectioner. Confectioner is powdered sugar. That's like whenever you see something powdered over, it goes great in a lot of recipes. Dark brown sugar is really glorious because it adds well to like barbecue sauce and really a dark, good sweetness. So there's two things that are really essential in pantry cooking. One is salt, and you'll see that there are also tons of different salts. Kosher salt is just like the classic awesome. It says kosher and people are like, oh, I'm not Jewish, you know, I don't have a small circumcised penis, like I can't use kosher salt. Actually, believe it or not, it's not true, you can. So kosher salt is really good because it's not like really tiny like table salt, and it's also not really thick like some of the sea salts, so it melts really well when you're cooking in it, incorporates well. Whereas sea salt actually, you know, can be quite bigger and has a lot of flavor. It tastes like the ocean, which is good in a lot of cases, but sometimes it can just be way too much and overwhelming. Canned stuff is awesome because it lasts a long time. Like you can get black beans, you can get chickpeas, and let's see, expiration date, this is 2015. So you buy this now and you have 2 years to use it. Just leave it there. Chickpeas, you can make hummus, you can make falafel, you can make all kinds of delicious stuff.
Give me your top 3 canned goods to always have, essential canned goods.
Chickpeas, black beans, and probably corn. I like to just have a canned corn. Those 3 are like just golden.
With those 3 on your pantry, you'll always have something to make.
Canned tomatoes are another great canned thing. That would be a 4th if I had to have 4 things to have. Canned tomatoes are great for making tomato sauce, pizza sauce. You can put them in stews. They last a really long time. The best kind you can get are these San Marzano. They're just glorious and delicious, but any tomato sauce. There are a lot of different types of tomatoes. Puree is just gonna mean that it's literally pureed up and it's fine. Then you've got the whole, which you're getting like whole tomatoes that are usually in some kind of stew. And then you have the type that are crushed, which are gonna be not completely fine, but they're gonna be like whole tomatoes that have been crushed up. And that depends on what you're cooking. If you're just gonna get one, it's always good to get crushed because that's sort of in the middle, and then you can still puree it. So there's another thing, you know, you're talking about tomato sauce, and tomato sauce comes to pasta. And most people do have pasta in their pantry. It's cheap, it feeds a lot of people, but you can buy like a thing of spaghetti, you know, for, let's see, this is $1.69. It's a pound of spaghetti. That's gonna make a lot of pasta. But just having a box, like pick one box, you know, look at anything. If you like the twirly ones, they all cook pretty much the same way. Follow the instructions and just have it there. Whenever you want a quick meal, boil some pasta, bada bing, bada boom.